Behind every legend lies a reason. This is Myth and Motive.
As the fourth largest country in the world by area, following only Russia, Canada, and the United States, China is known as one of the most populous countries in the world, with over 1.4 billion people on an area of nearly 9.4 million square kilometers, equivalent to the entire population of Africa. However, the country witnesses an extremely peculiar population distribution, with over 90% of the population concentrated in the east, creating a stark contrast with the sparsely populated west. So why is there this special distribution? What has caused 1.3 billion Chinese people to neglect the western part of the country and concentrate in the east? Join us in uncovering the mysteries behind this choice in today's video. China's official name is the people. Looking at the map, China has the most bordering countries, up to 14 nations. The neighboring countries of this nation include Russia and Mongolia to the north, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan to the west, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, and Bhutan to the southwest, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam to the south, and North Korea to the east. With its unique geographical location, China is not only diverse in ethnicity and culture but also in climate. This is clearly shown by the presence of 56 ethnic groups living across the vast territory. Among them, the Han ethnic group makes up 93% of the population, while the remaining 55 are minority ethnic groups scattered throughout the country. According to public information, China is divided into 33 provinces, 22 cities, 5 autonomous regions, and 4 centrally administered municipalities. The country has 4 main religions, including Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, and Christianity. Mandarin is the common language with Beijing pronunciation used as the standard. Notably, China is in the monsoon region, with a large temperature difference between months, averaging around -5 degrees Celsius in January and up to 26 degrees Celsius in July. The hottest areas are Chongqing, Wuhan, and Beijing. Complex terrain and high temperature differences between regions have created climatic diversity. It is noteworthy that despite its large area, nearly half of China's territory is very sparsely populated. Population density in China varies significantly, with a large difference between the east and western regions like Tibet, Xinjiang, and Qinghai. This contrast is not only shown in population density, but also evidenced by the concentration of people in key economic areas. In the east, population density is high, especially in plains like the Yangtze River Delta, Shanghai, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, the Pearl River Delta Guangdong, and the Chengdu Plain in Sichuan Basin. These areas are often near alluvial plains, where intensive agricultural activities are concentrated. It is known that about 94% of the population, or over 1.3 billion people, reside in the east, equivalent to about 4.3% of the country's area. In contrast, the western region is extremely sparsely populated, with only about 6% of the population living on the remaining 57% of the area, about 5.5 million square kilometers. The question is, what reasons lead 94% of China's population to choose to live in the east? Are the key economic areas in the east the main reason attracting people to live here? Dear friends, the economy is just one of many factors contributing to this contrast. In fact, 94% of China's population living in the east is the result of a combination of favorable natural conditions, strong economic development, long settlement history, and government development policies. While the east is the economic and cultural center of the country, the west still faces many challenges that need to be addressed to balance development between the two regions. First, let's talk about the differences in geographical and climatic conditions between the eastern and western regions of China. This is the foundational factor creating the contrast in economic development and population distribution. The east of China is favored by nature with flat terrain, a temperate climate, and a dense river system. This area borders the sea and possesses vast plains like the North China Plain, the Yangtze River Plain, and the Pearl River Plain. These fertile lands are conducive to agricultural development, infrastructure construction, and market expansion. They are also key agricultural areas of the country, producing staple goods such as rice, corn, cotton, and various vegetables to meet domestic consumption and export demands. Moreover, the humid monsoon climate with abundant rainfall provides ideal conditions for cultivation and living. Major rivers like the Yellow River, Yangtze River, and Pearl River not only supply ample water for daily use and irrigation, but also play an important role in water transport, promoting economic development. The warm climate year-round also contributes to a favorable living environment, attracting dense population concentration. Meanwhile, western China is mainly mountainous and plateau regions with rugged terrain and harsh climates. Accordingly, about half of China's territory is mountainous, concentrated mainly in the western region. Famous mountain ranges such as Altai, Tian Shan, Kunlun, and especially the Himalayas. We also know them by the more familiar name, the Himalayan range with the world's highest peak Everest at 8,863 meters, creating a complex topographic landscape. The Tibetan Plateau with an average elevation of 3,000 meters above sea level, along with the Yunnan Plateau and the Xiangmingli and Shanghai mountain ranges in the northeast, further increase the difficulties for living and economic development. The climate in the west is extremely harsh, forming two huge deserts, the Gobi Desert and the Taklamakan Desert. Temperature fluctuates strongly from -40 degrees Celsius in winter to 45 degrees Celsius in summer. The main cause comes from the Himalayas blocking moist winds from the Indian Ocean, causing this area to receive almost no necessary rainfall. The Gobi Desert and Taklamakan Desert are considered among the driest places on Earth. Water scarcity and harsh climate have severely limited agricultural development and habitation, resulting in sparse population. The people here are mainly nomadic communities with high adaptability to harsh environments. The stark contrast in geographical and climatic conditions between the two regions has created significant differences in economic development and population distribution, with the East developing strongly and the West facing many challenges. Economy is also the second factor affecting population distribution in China. As we just mentioned, the climate in eastern China provides many advantages for agricultural development compared to the West. In addition, this area is also the country's leading industrial and service center, with strong development in manufacturing, high-tech, finance, and tourism industries. Major cities like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen are not only main economic drivers, but also attract labor from across the country. Moreover, eastern China also possesses a modern transportation system, including highway networks, railways, and major international ports. Meanwhile, ports like Shanghai and Shenzhen play important roles as gateways for import-export activities, promoting connections with international markets and facilitating global trade. Thanks to the developed economy, this region has created millions of jobs in fields such as industry, services, and technology, while promoting urbanization and attracting high-quality human resources. In complete contrast, Western China mainly relies on agriculture and natural resource extraction. However, due to harsh terrain and climate conditions, agriculture here faces many difficulties and cannot develop as strongly as in the East. Along with that, infrastructure systems like transportation, electricity, water, and telecommunications are also less developed. The remote geographical location and treacherous terrain have isolated this region, making it difficult to access major markets and economic centers. And this has not only limited economic development but also made Western China struggle to attract investment. As a result, industries and services in the West have not been able to develop, leading to job shortages and low incomes. This situation has forced people to migrate to the East to seek job opportunities and better lives, increasing the disparity in population distribution between the two regions. This difference not only reflects uneven economic development, but also shows major challenges in balancing development between regions in China. The third factor causing 94% of China's population to concentrate in the East is the influence of long-standing settlement history. Dear friends, long-standing settlement history is the process of people living, building communities and developing culture in a specific area over a long period of time, often spanning many centuries or even millennia. This process includes main stages, forming residential communities, developing civilization, expanding territory, migration, and finally forming modern urban areas. Eastern China is a typical example of long-standing settlement history. With abundant natural resources, especially being the cradle of Chinese civilization, with fertile plains like the North China Plain, Yangtze River, and Pearl River. This area attracted settlers very early. The vast plains, especially the Yellow River and Yangtze River basins, are not only the birthplace of wet rice agriculture but also the foundation for the formation of the earliest residential communities. Thousands of years ago, people settled here to cultivate rice and other crops, creating a brilliant agricultural civilization. Not limited to agriculture, Eastern China is also home to many capitals and important political centers of various dynasties. Luoyang, one of China's oldest capitals located in the Hebei Plain, is evidence of the long-standing development of this region. Beijing, the capital since the Yuan dynasty in the 13th century, remains the country's political center. Nanjing, the capital of many dynasties such as the Ming and Qing, is also one of the internal cultural and political centers. These capitals were not only centers of political power but also cultural, educational, and economic hubs, attracting populations and promoting the development of major cities. Cities like Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen have long developed with stable communities over generations, creating a sustainable and prosperous society. Meanwhile, Western China is completely opposite. We mentioned the rugged terrain of mountains and plateaus along with harsh climate in the previous part of the video. This has made the western region of China face many difficulties in agricultural development and settlement. The settlement history in the West is also shorter and less developed compared to the East, with communities here mainly being ethnic minorities living nomadic or pastoral lifestyles. Aware of this disparity due to natural conditions, Chinese feudal dynasties implemented land reclamation and migration policies, mainly focusing on the eastern plains. This led people to migrate from west to east seeking better living opportunities. However, in the 1950s, the Chinese government recognized the importance of the western border regions and initiated policies to attract settlers. Railway, highway, and infrastructure projects were implemented to promote population growth and economic development. These efforts yielded significant results with waves of Han migration to areas like Inner Mongolia, Xinjiang, Heilongjiang, and Qinghai, raising the Han population ratio to about 40% in these areas by 1980. However, since the late 1970s, economic reforms created a strong migration wave from rural to urban areas and from west to east. This trend reversed previous government efforts, worsening the uneven population distribution. Major cities in the east continued to attract huge flows of people, while the west remained sparsely populated. Overall, Eastern China with its solid agricultural foundation and long settlement history became densely populated and economically developed. Meanwhile, the west with harsh natural conditions and later settlement history became a sparsely populated land. Finally, we cannot ignore other objective factors affecting the uneven population distribution between East and West China. These are education, healthcare, and employment opportunities, crucial factors determining quality of life and human development. First is education. Eastern China is not only the cradle of Chinese civilization with cultural, religious, philosophical, and artistic values, specifically Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, but also the country's leading educational center. As the economy developed, conditions allowed major educational centers to emerge along with established prestigious school and university systems, attracting talent from across the country. Major cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou possess top Asian universities. For example, Peking University, Tsinghua University, or Fudan University. These educational institutions not only provide high-quality curricula, but also attract international students, creating a culturally diverse and advanced learning environment. Moreover, the education system in the East receives strong investment in infrastructure, modern equipment, and excellent faculty. Students here have many opportunities to access scholarships, international exchange programs, and advanced scientific research. This has made the East an ideal destination for families wanting their children to receive the best education. In contrast, Western China has a less developed education system. Due to geographical isolation and lack of investment, schools and universities here often lack infrastructure, resources, and quality teachers. Students in the West have fewer opportunities to access scholarship programs and advanced scientific research, leading to low training quality and limited career development opportunities. This disparity has caused many families to decide to migrate to the East, so their children can access better education. Next is healthcare. Due to its prosperous economy, Eastern China possesses an advanced healthcare system with many large hospitals, modern clinics, and a team of highly specialized doctors. Cities like Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou are home to top-tier hospitals. Equipped with advanced technology and providing comprehensive medical services from routine checkups to complex surgeries, the Chinese government also implements universal health insurance policies, helping people easily access medical services without worrying about treatment costs. This has created a safe living environment and attracted residents from other countries to settle. Meanwhile, Western China faces many difficulties in providing medical services. Hospitals and clinics here often lack modern equipment and high-quality medical personnel. People have to travel far to access quality medical services, causing inconvenience and high costs. Lack of investment in healthcare has made the West a less attractive area for residents, especially those with high healthcare needs. And the third factor is job opportunities. Eastern China is the economic center of the country with strong development in industries, services, and high technology. Cities like Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou are ideal destinations for job seekers with high salaries and good working conditions. In particular, multinational companies and large enterprises often have headquarters here, creating millions of high-quality jobs. People not only have many career choices but also opportunities for advancement from worker positions to senior management. In contrast, Western China has a less developed economy, mainly relying on agriculture and resource extraction. Industries and services here are underdeveloped, leading to a lack of jobs and low income. Western residents often migrate to the East in search of better job opportunities, creating a wave of migration from West to East. The clear differences in natural conditions, economy, education, healthcare, job opportunities, and settlement history have created an uneven population distribution between Eastern and Western China. In reality, when we draw a comparison, we can clearly see the challenges that Western China is facing. That is rugged terrain, including many high mountains, deserts, and plateaus, making settlement and economic development difficult. Harsh climate with frequent droughts, floods, and sandstorms further exacerbates these challenges, making agriculture and daily life difficult. Poor infrastructure and inadequate living conditions have led many residents to leave their homeland in search of better opportunities in the East. Meanwhile, Eastern China, in contrast, presents a completely different picture. With a strong economy, modern infrastructure, and high-quality public services, the East has become an attractive destination for migrants from the West. While the East has a developed economy with modern infrastructure and high-quality services, the West remains a barren land full of sun and wind, underdeveloped and sparsely populated. This uneven population distribution not only reflects the imbalance in socio-economic development but also widens the wealth gap between the two regions. The Tibet Autonomous Region, although with a population of only about 4 million, plays an extremely important role for China and Asia. It is home to thousands of glaciers with the third largest freshwater reserves in the world. Many major rivers, including the Yellow River, Yangtze River, and Mekong River, originate from here. Controlling the Tibetan Plateau has enabled China to manage water sources crucial for billions of people. Additionally, the western region is considered a solid protective shield for Beijing and prosperous cities in the east. It is also home to the Silk Road, an important trade corridor for thousands of years, connecting China's wealthy eastern region with Arab countries. Not only that, the West also possesses rich gas reserves, especially in Xinjiang, which has the richest mineral and natural gas reserves in China. Recognizing the importance of the West, the Chinese government has made efforts to implement policies for balanced population distribution and socioeconomic development between the two regions. So, how have they made efforts? The Western Development Strategy, initiated in the 2000s, is one of the Chinese government's biggest efforts. This strategy aims to promote economic, social, and cultural development in Western provinces including Xinjiang, Tibet, Gansu, and Guizhou. Some activities include encouraging investment in areas like transportation infrastructure, energy, and industry to improve the transportation system, as well as creating jobs and increasing income for residents. They also encourage businesses to invest in the West through tax incentives and financial support, focusing on developing a logistics network to connect the West with other regions, promoting trade and cultural exchange. Additionally, this policy enhances support for agriculture and livestock, especially in difficult areas, as well as promotes tourism and cultural heritage preservation. Thanks to these efforts, the average annual economic growth rate of Western China has reached about 10.6% over the past decade. However, these improvements are still insufficient to thoroughly address the challenges faced by Western residents. As one problem is solved, another arises. Besides economic development policies, the Chinese government also highly values migration projects by encouraging residents from large cities in the east to migrate to Western regions through support policies such as housing, jobs, education, and healthcare. According to the recently announced 5-year action plan, China aims to have 70% of its population living in urban areas by 2029. Unleashing new momentum for the economy. The Xinjiang Migration Project is a typical example. Xinjiang, home to many ethnic minorities such as the Uyghurs, has become the focus of migration policies. The central government provides incentives such as housing, jobs, education, and healthcare to attract Han Chinese from eastern provinces. At the same time, some Uyghur and other minority communities are also required to relocate to new residential areas. To make way for infrastructure development projects or resource extraction. This project not only contributes to promoting economic development in Xinjiang, but also helps the central government strengthen control and reduce the risk of political instability. However, the project has also faced criticism from human rights organizations in some Western countries, due to allegations of human rights violations and suppression of the Uyghurs. Additionally, the Chinese government is heavily investing in education and infrastructure in the Western region. Universities and training centers are built alongside modern railway systems, highways, and airports to connect the West with other areas. Overall, China's policies have significantly improved infrastructure, economy, and society in the West, attracting some population and investment from the East. However, it is still like a drop in the ocean as the large disparity in natural and economic conditions between the two regions remains a major challenge. This uneven population distribution is not only a geographical feature but also a complex economic, social, and political issue. The implementation of policies faces many difficulties due to a lack of resources and coordination among government levels. Therefore, to achieve true balance, the Chinese government needs to continue sustainable investment and have a long-term strategy. Our video ends here. As highly uneven population distribution will hinder the country. Please leave your opinions in the comments section below. And now, goodbye and see you again.
If the legend hooked you, subscribe and open the next case.